it's the Horror Appraisal, and I'm Sam.
And I'm Evan.
We got a review today for you. We decided we needed to do a single movie review instead of one of these top 5 or top 20, whatever lists.
But there's still many of those coming.
Lots of them. We still have 1982 to work on. Speaking of 1982.
That's right. The film that we're actually reviewing tonight is from 1982, and it is a sequel to a film series that many people don't like this film.
Unfortunately,
I love this movie because it doesn't have anything to do with the character that kind of made this series of films popular.
Michael Myers was very popular among the college-age teens and students and stuff, and that's how Halloween became real popular. Yeah. And they said, okay, cool, we're going to continue that night because he didn't die. We're going to go Halloween 2. But he kind of dies at the end of Halloween 2, So
the film studio decided that they had the brilliant idea of, well, what we'll do is every year we'll use the name Halloween and kind of make just sort of a Halloween themed movie, but always call it Halloween part whatever and keep going. So of course that led to the creation of this great little unique film. It's called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Halloween 3.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what this movie's about.
This movie is about these kids that are loving these real popular masks from a company called Silver Shamrock.
Ding,
and
ding, 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 ding.
Hey, what is to Halloween?
Right.
Halloween. 8 days to Halloween. Silver Shamrock.
It's kind of like that, yeah. But it's really obnoxious.
It's an Irish corporation, okay? This guy is from Ireland, and he's all evil and stuff. And as Tom Atkins would put it, he's just ready to do something bad because he's Irish.
He says that. I didn't know that Tom Atkins had
He has this hate for Ireland.
I don't know if it's a hate. Maybe it's just a healthy fear.
A suspicion.
Yes, there you go.
A healthy fear.
Yeah.
Nothing comes from potatoes.
The movie focuses on this character, Dr. Chalice, that Tom Atkins plays. By the way, this man is a total maverick as a doctor. I mean, he's like this beer swilling, chick pounding.
Fuck beer. He's all about the liquor.
Drinking and doctoring, great combination.
Yeah,
he goes straight to liquor.
Well, like it's basically it's kind of like a caper. He happens into this. This man comes to the hospital who's been attacked, and he's gripping one of these masks, and he says they're gonna kill us all. And so like he's kind of like into the mystery element of it now.
Tom Atkins says, Thorazine, IV.
Yeah. Anyway, the dude dies because someone sneaks into his room at night and gives him one of the coolest deaths.
Coolest deaths ever.
Yeah, horrible. But
just imagine somebody taking their fingers, sticking them into your eyes, past the bone and into the skull, into the cavity there, and then pulling with such brute force that they snap that away from your skull.
But yeah, it's kind of like
and it shows like the nose just kind of pulls.
It's kind of like pulling a chicken apart. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Yeah, but so he gets with this guy's daughter, and they're going to solve the case. Of what are these people doing that are making these masks? What evil are these people up to?
She's very concerned that her dad has disappeared.
Yeah, well, he hasn't disappeared. He's in the hospital.
Well, he died.
Oh yeah, she's so concerned about it. She's so concerned about it that she hops into a car as big as a boat with
Tom Atkins,
with mustached Tom Atkins,
and they go and solve.
He grabs a 6-pack of Miller Lite and gets in the car. What kind of doctor is this?
Nancy Loomis is his wife, his ex-wife.
Yeah, and
she is very adamant in pointing out that he's a drunk.
He has flaws. He's a flawed man, but we all
He's
are.
completely flawed in this movie.
But
he's flawed like a hangnail.
They take right off to this town
where Silver Shamrock exists.
Yeah, which is the company that's making the masks, and it's kind of a trippy little place.
Trippy indeed. There's cameras everywhere. This guy, this Irish madman, this Irish person is all about keeping tabs on every move everybody makes. There's a curfew, and it talks about please proceed into your homes and pursue your your own things in your house.
The guy who owns the company is played by an actor named, I think, Dan O'Hurlihan is his name.
And that's a mouthful.
It is, but he was the
Dan
guy.
O'Hurlihan.
He was in The Last Starfighter. He was the old man in RoboCop, the guy who owns the company, the guy that, you know, Ronnie Cox is trying to take hostage at the end of RoboCop, and he tells him he's fired, and then RoboCop shoots Ronnie Cox.
Yeah.
But, so, you know, kind of a cool, really kind of cool little evil role for this guy.
The point of this movie is it's called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and it was the first Halloween to really include a subtitle like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, the ones namely that are missing out on the value of this film, are the ones that say this film would have been great had it just been called Season of the Witch. I don't doubt that, but it's just as great being Halloween 3.
A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Yeah.
It's still better than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's very true.
It's still completely better.
Like I said, as a standalone film, Halloween 3's got really cool scares. The one thing that I want to point about this movie is this movie, for the time, has really good special effects.
It definitely followed in the steps of, well, it's like Halloween 2 really stepped up and made the violence better and stuff. And Halloween 2 was like, you know, we're going to kind of be like a real slasher and kill people the right way and stuff. I mean, there's a scene where this dude's head gets twisted off, and it looks very provocative from the side.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. It looks...
But this dude's head, and when his head finally gets twisted off...
If they hadn't, like, left so much of it in shadows while it was, like, down, it's like, what the hell?
What's happening? What are they doing to this poor guy? But Tom Atkins, man, he's like the suavest of suave, and he gets this girl who says she's older than she looks.
Yeah, and she also is so upset about her father's death, and what does he nail her, like, the next night?
That night.
They
take off. They end up in a hotel, and he's like, wait, should I get another room? And she's like, no, I brought a nightie with me.
Yeah, and, like, he totally comes back. He's a little dry, so he goes out for a bottle of liquor, and he comes back, and she's totally just, like, ready for him. Like, I don't think she's really that concerned about her father's death. I think she just wanted...
I think Tom Atkins is just that appealing.
Well, he's a very handsome man. So
I mean, we've said things about Tom Atkins that probably can't be said on these reviews. But
wow, dude, we're not supposed to talk about that. Okay, but shit.
Anyway, they get to the she gets kidnapped. I mean, there's this woman in this hotel room next to them. The woman in this I skipped ahead.
Oh, yeah.
The woman in the
Okay.
hotel next to them is returning some masks because they were faulty. The shamrock came off. What kind of company markets a mask and the brand comes off?
That's true.
Well, she's holding this little chip, right? And she kind of investigates it. She sets it aside. All right, she's in bed. She picks it up. She decides, I'm going to mess with this a little bit. She's picking at the chip inside this thing.
Using like a bobby.
And it blasts her in the mouth!
It blasts her in the freaking face, man. It's like
It's a blazer.
It's this otherworldly like laser effect. That was really cool.
It's bad.
And what it ends up doing is like frying like the front of her face off.
It's terrifying. It's really nasty.
Pretty gruesome effect actually, and it's
her eyes are all hemorrhaged red, and it's just her mouth is mutilated. Like she kissed a critter.
kiss the critter.
Critter kiss. Critter kiss.
There you go.
It's a critter kiss.
I was gonna let you come do it independently.
But Tom Atkins' suspicions are raised because this team of white coat doctors in one ambulance comes and gets this girl, and they're like, "Where are you taking her?" And they're like, and then this Irish chap is all like, "Oh, she's getting the finest care, and the doctors are taking care of her." And
That was a horrible impression.
it's okay. It's okay. He does a horrible impression of an Irish man.
I do not.
No, the actor.
Oh crap! So anyway,
Oh crap!
I think he actually is Irish though.
But he doesn't sound
Dan
like
O'Hurlihan. It's got an O.
How are you from Ireland?
Dan O'Hurlihan.
But I'm denying my
Patio
heritage.
furniture.
I'm trying to sound American.
He has like a couple times where like I think he was trying to use an Irish accent, and he kind of halfway uses
He kind
it.
of halfway got there.
He kind of halfway uses it, but like he doesn't get.
But then he
all
talks
of it.
like this a lot.
Yeah, he does. I mean, so
He talks straight up American.
We have the most marvelous facility there for emergency treatment.
Yeah, so
Like
it's
I'm
kind of
Bob Dole.
it's kind of gruff. I don't think Bob Dole talked like
I'm
that.
not Bob Dole.
But anyway, so hilarity ensues. Great special effects, and basically our protagonist, both our protagonists end up captured by this guy because they're learning too much. They're snooping around, being meddlesome.
Yeah, because there's cameras everywhere. So
Yeah.
everything that happens.
Yeah. So I think one of my favorite parts of this, other than like the effects, is I really like the speech that he gives Tom Atkins' character, Dr. Chalice, about quite what they're up to.
He tells him why Halloween is not what he's always thought it was. It's not about kids just going out in masks and getting candy. It's about...
I do love a good joke, and this is the best ever. The joke on the children. The Festival of Samhain. The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red with the blood of animals and children. Sacrifice.
This kind of pagan naturalization thing of the earth. You have to get rid of everybody every now and then.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's
purging.
It's a purging for like natural order.
And you wonder where Halloween 6 got its ridiculous story.
Yeah.
You ask me, this group of Irish fucks had baby Michael Myers in the back. They had Michael Myers. They captured him and they put him in the back room somewhere.
He's Irish, by the way. He can say that.
I'm part Irish.
Okay.
They had Michael Myers in a room in the back, and they were kind of brainwashing him and stuff. And they put him back in the hospital to be revived in Halloween 4. And then the story of all this comes out in Halloween 6. In Halloween 6, he's all part of this pagan thing. He's like the Borg that goes out and kills people because the village needs their death.
Well, whatever. If
joking,
they originated that with Halloween 3,
It's now the worst.
Using it at Halloween 3, definitely. You put a box around it. You don't try to use that story to tell the rest of the story in the
It's not
series.
involved in the rest.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be. My question to you, maybe when these masks fry these children and these people.
Well, yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
Why do bugs and snakes and critters come out of them?
I don't know.
Where do the bugs come from?
Well, he actually, when he's talking about they have part of Stonehenge down in their factory.
Yeah, they brought Stonehenge.
And he says to Tom Atkins,
into the factory.
He says to Tom Atkins, "You won't believe how we got them here," or anything. And of course, he doesn't elaborate more. So I think there must be some sort of
Portal?
yeah,
Doorway?
pan-dimensional.
Okay, but
Door-
a laser.
Wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. So, if they're able to use sorcery and like old world magic for that, whatever process, even though this is kind of witchcraft meets the computer age because it's triggering something.
Computers.
Yeah. Perhaps it still makes some kind of pan-dimensional gateway because like all these like bugs and crickets and stuff is coming out of these victims, snakes, all these critters.
It channels the bug and reptile kingdom.
It does. I mean, it's
why doesn't it?
it's
Okay, in
super
that case, why doesn't a shark come out of somebody's face? That'd be pretty cool.
because maybe it's specific magic. It only
It's specific magic.
How many? I was gonna say how many sharks.
Why doesn't it make a shark or something to come get me?
It doesn't work that way. But there's not a lot of sharks in Ireland, but then again, there's not a lot of rattlesnakes to my knowledge either. So yeah,
Probably not a lot of bugs. You know why? Because it's so cold there.
is that because they eat them?
Is it because they eat them? Anyway, you end up with the climax of this movie. And Tom Atkins is left trying to get this TV commercial off so that it doesn't trigger the masks and kill all the children. By the way, this movie's about mass child murder.
Yeah,
That's the basic thing. You're killing a bunch of kids.
yeah. To me,
It's a dark-ass movie.
Exactly. To me, the idea of these masks that are going to kill all these children, that's way more darker to me than. And I'm not. By the way, I'm not taking anything away from the first Halloween movie.
Michael's pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, but he's like killing a whole thing. This has global consequences.
All the children must die.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. It is a big deal.
So it is kind of imperative. Now, before you make your point about the end, there's something I want to point out. Tom Atkins in this movie, everyone he touches just dies or has horrible things happen to them.
Nancy Loomis doesn't die.
Well, we don't know that. Maybe
She's left to the end to face the apocalypse.
yeah. But like the chick who works in the hospital.
Yeah.
That like kind of has a thing with him. You know, she ends up getting a drill to the face.
Which happens off screen. It's a little disappointing.
That's true,
But it's a cool sound.
The movie gave us so many other special effect
Made
kills.
a scary sound.
Yeah, you know, she dies. The chick, his co-protagonist, she ends up being turned into one of
The droids.
the bad guys' clockwork automatons.
Which, by the way, they're really cool. Like, they look great. The makeup just to make them look robotic is very cool. I think that the actors that they got for this are just nice and blank, and they look great.
But poor Tom Atkins, everyone the whole family of people that come in to like visit the factory, everyone he touches or meets just dies in this movie.
Yeah.
He's poison in this movie.
He's poison. But he has this classic ending. I mean, he goes in and he calls the FCC or whatever regulates the television at this time, and the TV
whatever did in 1982.
the TV commercial. It's like ding 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 ding. It gets more intense, and it's made to set off the mask. It interacts with the masks.
Yeah, the chip in the mask.
And for days and weeks, this commercial has been building up. Only 24 more days to Halloween. You know, it builds up, and it gets these kids to say, you need to watch this special program the night of Halloween, okay? And these kids can go and they get candy, and they wear their masks, and they put it on in front of the TV, and it's supposed to fry them all. Tom Atkins is trying to stop that. He starts calling the FCC or whatever regulates these 8 channels that are exist in all of America, and he gets a few of them shut off, but there's a couple at the end that don't quite get shut off, and we are left with him.
It's still in the one station. Please, it's still playing on the station.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
It's pretty intense.
It's really intense.
It's a movie that's unique in the sense that, especially for the time, I feel it doesn't.
I love the music, man.
I love the music in this movie.
This movie revels in being like, computers are cool.
Yeah, it was that early '80s kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But this movie's kind of unique in some senses, in the sense that the good guys like kind of totally lose.
Tom Atkins says he thinks that everybody lives off happy, but I think that's him being sarcastic.
Well, I think, I was gonna say,
it's a very bleak ending.
It's a very, it's almost like, why did I watch this?
Well,
This is so sad.
He has this fight with the chick at the end when you know her arm gets ripped off and her arm fights him, but it's like crawling up his body even though the hand is open, and it's like, how does that work?
I don't know. Maybe he's just holding on to it. If it wasn't like holding on to him, it would just fall. Yeah.
It's really cool. It's got classic cheesiness, but it's also got great modern stuff.
Great 80s horror.
And it's a slasher that you really... It's a slasher. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, I think, definitely would not be mistaken to check out Halloween 3, especially the Scream Factory edition of it. It's got some producers on the special features that still hold to the idea that it was a big mistake.
Yeah, it's actually kind of surprising.
If it was such a big fucking mistake, why do people enjoy it so much?
You know, to me, it's always very surprising when you see these special features and you see these professionals who say, it was a big mistake and should have made it, but I didn't care. I just got a check for it. I mean, literally.
It made more money than Halloween 5.
That's true. It did.
A lot of movies did.
Yeah. But, you know, so that's just what I mean. It's very surprising, I think, to see these professionals say things like that. It almost kind of makes me a little mad sometimes, because it's like, you know, this is something that I really care about and I really like, and there's a lot of horror fans out there, and it almost like it cheapens it. But in a way, I guess as fans, you just kind of have to overcome that and like realize, you know, well, you know what, screw whatever that guy says. This movie means a lot to me. I think it's cool for these reasons.
It's an enjoyable film.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because I guess someone behind it didn't really believe in it or care for it, that shouldn't affect how I feel about it.
I'll be completely honest. Meeting Tom Atkins made this movie way better for me. I mean, meeting Tom Atkins made a lot of movies better for me, but he is a great actor, and I think that there were a couple of times when I actually was watching this movie and I looked at it and I said, he's a really good actor.
He is.
I mean, joking aside about how he can land any woman and all this stuff, He's a good actor. And there's a reason he still does stage performances for like the Pittsburgh.
Yeah, absolutely.
He he has this Pittsburgh Steelers coach thing, and that is like a huge thing. It's a huge deal. Okay, he's a stage actor, and he's not just an old guy that got lucky.
Well, I mean, he made his bones. He was trained on the stage like so many actors are.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, we would like for you to respond to us and tell us what you might want our next movie to be reviewed. We've got some ideas, but
yeah.
We've got some things coming up. We need to do the top 5 for 1982.
Yeah, we're still going to continue our tradition of doing the 80s year by year top 5 films. There's probably going to be a little controversy and clashing.
Yeah, we're going to have a fight in 1982. You're going to like it.
Probably are.
Yeah, you're going to like it. You all might actually travel here and kill one of us. Anyway, I'm Sam.
And I'm Evan.
Thank you for watching the Horror Appraisal.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one. Okay.
Yes, kids, you too can own one of the big Halloween 3. That's right, 3 horrific masks to choose from. They're fun, they're frightening,